Should we talk about our pop-up? Should we talk about the menu? Should we talk about what it was like working together? Because I think that's really interesting, and that it's because it's our first time. It's cool to have it on record as like a debrief. So that process started because I'm here in Minneapolis for the week, and I was like, we should do a pop-up together. And it was maybe 6 weeks out when we like secured a venue, or a month out, I would say.
It was close.
It was close. It was cutting it close. Because we didn't know what my timeline schedule was going to be like while I was here. And then we also wanted to try this new venue, which was Popol Vuh.
Yeah.
But yeah, you were great at securing the location and having those meetings and getting everything sorted for us.
Yeah.
And then we decided on a menu format, which I already teased to a little bit, which was we picked 4 ingredients, and the 4 ingredients were peas, kohlrabi, mushrooms, and rhubarb.
It's supposed to be chanterelles.
It was supposed to be chanterelles.
But we created this ingredient, this list of ingredients. We created this sort of a long time ago, actually. Mm-hmm. And we've had a late season for chanterelles.
Totally.
So.
Which is fine. We renamed it mushrooms. So the idea was Spencer would do a dish of peas, I would do my dish of peas, and then you would do your dish of kohlrabi, and I would do my dish of kohlrabi. Same with mushrooms, same with rhubarb. And it didn't necessarily have to be in that order. That's how it ended up.
Yeah.
And then we also did snacks and miniardies.
But those were just sort of whatever
small,
we were excited about.
Small. And so I guess that was your first collaborative tasting menu, or was with Tim your first, like, where you...
Yeah, I did a dinner last month with where it was 2 dishes from each of the 3 chefs for a charity event. Yeah. But it was also sort of, it was fun, but it's also sort of like forced collaboration.
I see. Yeah, I see that. I mean, the reason that I pitched this idea is because I have wanted to do that idea for a while with the picking the ingredients and then collaborating, because I think that's more of a story than just us getting together and cooking together, because your pea dish was way different than my pea dish, and the same with the kohlrabi dishes, right?
Concept.
Concept. That's where my head goes. So what did you enjoy that? Do you think it was too forced? Did you think it was...
No, I thought it was fun because, I mean, I probably would have used those ingredients anyway.
Correct.
And you probably would have done something similar because we're excited. We're both excited about them. But this way, the menu has an idea and a constraint, a creative constraint.
Correct.
Yes, you love those.
I wouldn't talk about it if I didn't actually enjoy it. That would be, and I talked about that when we were cooking together, because I don't know, you said it a couple times, like, your knives are actually sharp and you actually try to stay organized, and like, it would suck if I stalked all this stuff online and then you actually cooked with me and it was not real. Yeah. So I don't know. I thought it was pretty fun to cook together. I don't think that there was anything that was like a massive surprise of like, this is not how this guy actually cooks.
I suck.
Yeah.
I put pretty dishes on Instagram that taste bad.
Exactly.
Yeah.
No, we asked some of the guests after the dinner, like, what was everybody's favorites, and it was pretty 50-50. I would say so.
Yeah, and I don't mean this as a crutch.
No.
To say that, like, excuses for why people... Because people liked a lot of your dishes as, like, the first ingredient, like, which one was your favorite. But I also feel like people love the big meat dish.
Yep.
And I don't like cooking meat.
Totally.
I don't get excited about meat. Like, I will probably, in the near future at least, not have beef on my menu. At least cooked.
Yeah. But you can...
I don't like it. I just think it's... Sure. I think everyone knows beef, and I would rather serve lamb. I would rather serve pigeon.
Yep.
I would rather serve something that people haven't had, because I think that's more fun. I think it's more fun for me to cook. I think it's more fun for the guests to eat.
Totally.
But also, like, I would rather serve a fish and a vegetable than a protein.
A steak.
But people love a steak.
It's true. Especially here.
Especially in Minnesota.
So,
So
going back to the dinner, what else stuck out as like things you learned or unexpected things or like things that you would do different next time? I know for me, I put a lot of pressure on you, and I didn't realize how much pressure it actually was. Of you normally prep like 3 days in advance.
Yeah.
And I basically went to you and I said, it's going to be no big deal. We're going to do everything the same day. And you were a little bit nervous about that. And I didn't realize how much actual prep you do. But it all came together, right?
Yeah.
Like you had a bunch
It only took 3 people prepping my 4 dishes and 1 person to prep yours.
Yep. But it all worked, right?
I mean, yeah.
And that was definitely probably a learning experience for you of like, this is how I have to organize myself to do everything same day.
Yeah, I don't like when I write my menu. There was a chef one time that's like, you can cook anything you want, but when you have a restaurant, you have to think about what you're capable of doing.
Correct.
And I don't think about that yet. I figure out what I want to do and I make it happen.
Mm-hmm. Even if it takes 3 days.
Even if it takes 3 days.
Mm-hmm.
And most times it does.
Sure.
So it's like, that's the mentality that I have. I don't think I have to do this all in one day. So maybe I have to change this to make it easier on prep. I don't usually do that. And I didn't do it this time. I just had more people prep my stuff.
Totally. Which is fine.
Which was fine.
But one principle that I wanted to have as a takeaway for you is this idea of having dishes that are very intense and then having dishes that are a little bit more hands-off, where not every single dish has to be like heavy, intense plating, heavy, intense cooking, tableside sauce. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where like
your kohlrabi dish.
My kohlrabi dish was very hands-off. It was like pre-mix, just needs garnish, and then it's done. Yeah. And then that gives us a buffer in the tasting menu.
But people loved it.
People loved it. And so like as long as you can do the legwork beforehand, you give yourself this breathing room in the tasting menu. In the same way that us serving bread as the first course was an incredible buffer at the start of the meal. Right?
Yeah.
Because it gives people something to do to keep them busy while you're plating this first dish.
But it still has to be interesting.
Correct. I agree.
Like,
yep.
we for a second there we thought we were gonna, but like you can't just buy bread and serve bread.
Totally.
Like it has to be interesting. Mm-hmm. And you can't I don't feel like you should serve a boring salad with a vinaigrette.
Agreed.
That's like boring and put a few vegetables on it. Like it has to be something that is interesting, but maybe it isn't intense for the service side, and maybe it's more prep heavy.
Exactly. That's where I'm going with it. Where it doesn't have to be, well, we're searing this thing and then doing this crazy elaborate plate up thing where we try to build it really high, and then we also have to like have sauce hot that we're gonna sauce table side. Like it doesn't have to be like that. And that was something that I really wanted to like impart, is that you can build a tasting menu that gives you these breathing moments. I don't know what else stood out as far as like things that was either fun or stuff. That
it was fun to cook over wood fire.
Yeah, that too.
I feel like I don't know if I utilize that as much. We sort of had that crutch of like, Centro's right over there. We can go use their electric stove and their convection oven.
Right.
And it's sort of like I wish I would have tried to
experiment,
accomplish more over the wood fire, but no one said there isn't a next time.
That's true. That's also true. And then also when you're thinking about these dishes going forward again, you can start to build, instead of doing something that would normally be oven roasted, you can do wood fire roasted. Do you know what I mean?
And it was also, we definitely wrote our menu before we had secured the venue.
Yeah, that also is a contributing factor. For
sure.
An interesting question I was going to ask, because you've had some more restaurant experience.
Yeah.
Has anyone particularly been a good mentor figure for you in a restaurant setting?
Like specific names?
Yeah, you don't even have to say names, but like, yes, I met this person and this is what they taught me. As far as like,
I think it's hard. It's you have to. I don't think I realized this until actually yesterday when I had my first stage on my station. It is a effort to teach people things.